Hi, this is Greg. Welcome to our channel. We live in a dangerous world, and a major reason is because of a lack of quality leadership. Today, I would like to discuss how toxic autocratic leadership is, not only in government officials, but also in our businesses. Autocratic leadership exists because of two major reasons. First, it's a byproduct of the detestable human desire by many to dominate, control, and manipulate other humans. Secondly, it is deeply embedded in most human cultures. For example, the same culture that brought the world Ivan the Terrible and Stalin is the same culture that allowed Vladimir Putin to emerge. This is not a coincidence. Let's talk more about toxic autocratic leadership. Abusive autocratic leadership is a serious problem, and it's not limited to politicians in government. It's also prevalent in most modern businesses and other organizations. Here's just a small recent illustration. In early December of 2021, the chief executive officer of Bettercom, a U.S.-based digital mortgage lending company, callously fired 900 workers on, of all places, a Zoom call. This was about 9% of the company's total workforce. Talk about a lack of leadership skill or decency. Due to the backlash, he took some time off, I'm sure at full pay, and then returned to work. But this wasn't the first time this domineering tyrant had been involved in controversy, as evidenced earlier by an email he sent to staff that was obtained by Forbes magazine. It read, "You are too damn slow. You are a bunch of dumb dolphins. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now. You are embarrassing me." End of quote, he wrote. Wow, what an inspirational leader he is. What amazes me most is that the board of directors has allowed this shallow behavior to continue. As a follow-up to this, on March 9, 2022, Bettercom announced it is again laying off about one-third of its remaining workforce, amounting to roughly 3,000 jobs. When you're incapable of good leadership, the answer is always to dispose of people. We need to realize that even though this company got media attention, these kinds of toxic autocratic dictates are made each and every day in far too many businesses and organizations. Why? It's because this kind of behavior is embedded in our Western culture. If we're honest with ourselves, it's even celebrated. For example, within our own culture, television ratings show we approve of shows like The Apprentice, where contestants are encouraged to judge one another, betray a coworker, and are mocked for being stupid. Finally, those labeled as losers are kicked off the show with the catchphrase, "You're fired!" For decades, CEOs like Jack Welch were celebrated and honored as the model of excellent corporate leadership. This might be true if you are only measuring business leadership entirely through a prism of share prices or market capitalization. Welch earned the nickname Neutron Jack during the 1980s for eliminating tens of thousands of employees, even as he continued to accumulate unrelated businesses that dominated in their market share. His successor had to painfully deal with these mistakes. However, beyond GE share prices, his autocratic leadership example was toxic. Here's an example of how he really valued employees. At a meeting, he said that he believed there are 4 types of employees. And here they are. Number 1, a high performer that buys into the corporate culture, promote and empower them as much as possible. Number 2, a low performer that doesn't buy into the corporate culture, fire them as quickly as possible. Number 3, a low performer that buys into the corporate culture, give them a second chance in a different position to see if they can be an A player. And number 4, a high performer that doesn't buy into the corporate culture, do a public hanging where you fire them and discuss with other managers their shortcomings. Of course, he alone defined what a low performer and high performer were. It never dawned upon him that corporate cultures need to constantly improve, evolve, and innovate to remain productive and healthy environments. To Jack Welch, buying into the corporate culture meant doing what he wanted employees to do, when he wanted them to do it, and how he wanted them to do it. There was little room for improved cultural change, except maybe a new strategy to lop off more employees or GE subsidiaries to increase their stock valuation. To the autocratic mindset, people are disposable, whether they're soldiers in the military or employees in a business. They most value their prestige, their wealth, their influence. To their distorted way of thinking, little else really matters. If you would like to know more about autocratic leadership, I encourage you to watch our video, What You Need to Know About Leadership. I will place a link in the discussion area. If the information you heard today was helpful, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and please give us a like. If you ring the bell, you'll be notified of new videos I post. We do appreciate your support. This is Greg Thomas on behalf of Leadership Excellence Limited, reminding you that it was General Dwight D. Eisenhower who wrote, "You do not lead by hitting people over the head. That's assault, not leadership." See you next time.